So, of course, just as you guys, I heard about the potential Carson Wentz trade, and that's why I got the inspiration to make this video. But I just wanted to say something before I get into it. So, there is a general manager out there who watched two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady face off in the NFC Championship game, and then he watched the two greatest young quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, face off in the NFC Championship game after last year watching the best team crumble in the fourth quarter versus the best quarterback who was basically on the worst team. Like the Kansas City Chiefs didn't have the same defense, didn't have the same O-line. They only had receivers and quarterbacks, and Patrick Mahomes came back and won that game. So he watches all those games and thought to himself, well, I want to give off draft picks, first round draft pick, maybe even more than first round draft pick for Carson Wentz. That's a wild concept. Like that. Listen, I am glad that I'm not a fan of that football team. I'm just going to leave it out there. And the reason for me making this video is because I hate mediocrity. I'm not a Carson Wentz apologist anymore because I will get into it a little bit later, and I'll get into it how I get over it. So I'm not a Carson Wentz apologist anymore because I hate perpetual mediocrity. And there are multiple ways of mediocrity. We make fun of the Dallas Cowboys. It's really hypocritical of you, Carson Wentz apologists. We make fun of Dallas Cowboys for being 8-8 every year, but then we make apologies for Carson Wentz. We say that Dak Prescott is only good because he had weapons and he sucked when he didn't. He's only good when Zeke is playing well. Well, then go back to your own house and say, well, Carson Wentz needs more weapons. Carson Wentz needs better coaching. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Now, there is multiple ways of being mediocre. One way to be mediocre is to overpay your quarterback. And this is really, really, really important for you to understand. First of all, the video that I'm making is based off my logical thinking, of my honest opinion that Carson Wentz will never be a top three quarterback in this league ever again. He had too many injuries. He's a shot quarterback. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that Carson Wentz with Nick Sirianni, with some of the new players, returns and he has like a good season, a really good season, returns being, let's say, the 7th best quarterback in the league. Now here is the core of my problem. We are paying Carson Wentz to be the best quarterback because remember, at one point, Carson Wentz was the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. We paid him to be LeBron James. We paid him to be Barry Bonds. We paid him to be Dwayne Gretzky. We paid him to be the GOAT. And then you are satisfied, and then your best possible outcome is for Carson Wentz to be a 7th best quarterback in the league. That's mediocrity for you. That's mediocrity because you pay Carson Wentz to be the best, and you have the 7th best, the 9th best, the 10th best quarterback. Now let's just talk about basketball. Who's the best basketball player right now? Let's say LeBron James. LeBron James, okay. Who's the 7th best basketball player right now? Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic. Maybe Luka Doncic is like top 5. I'm not sure. So whoever the hell is on the list, on your list as the 7th best basketball player in the NBA. Imagine if they would have the same salary, which they probably do, because NBA, just like in NFL, the 7th and the 1st player get the same amount of money, which I disagree. And then LeBron James goes into the finals 9 times out of 10 seasons, and the 7th best player probably was in the finals once. Like the 7th best player is probably Russell Westbrook, who was in the finals 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Like there is a huge difference, and then get the same money. They get the same money, and this is you can say this for any single sport. You can say tennis. Novak Djokovic is the best tennis player on the world right now, and the 7th, the 9th, the 8th best tennis player is not even close to being as good as Novak Djokovic. If tennis was a team sport, the 7th best player would not even be close. And this is why I hate having a quarterback who's borderline top 10. Because if you're borderline top 10, you need help. But you're getting paid the same amount of money as the best, who can elevate the shitty team. But you cannot. And this is the problem. This is the core of my problem with Carson Wentz. And here's what happened with myself. As I said, I was a Carson Wentz apologist. But then I watched this game. Bengals Eagles. Bengals Eagles. This guy had multiple opportunity to beat, at home, the worst team in 2019. And he didn't. The best thing that Carson Wentz could do is a tie. He tied the Cincinnati Bengals. And then I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. This guy lost to the football team after being up 17-0. Nothing wrong there. He had receivers in the first half, but he didn't have receivers in the second half, obviously. He had coaching in the first half, but he didn't have coaching in the second half. And then he lost to the Rams. Shitty game, unwatchable. And then he tied the Bengals. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. So I was always thinking about Wentz as this like borderline top 5. Okay, maybe top 5, maybe even the 4th best quarterback in the league. Because what does Wentz do bad? Like I was always thinking about what does Wentz do bad? He is occasionally really inaccurate when it comes to screen passes, occasionally sails a pass up the middle. And as I said, inaccurate on screen passes. He really is making mistakes on easy plays. And the other thing is the fumbling issue. So those are the two worst traits. Can it be fixed? Maybe, maybe not. But okay, I'm satisfied. Hey, listen, top 5 quarterback. But then I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. What does Carson Wentz do good? What trait of Carson Wentz is even remotely close to Patrick Mahomes, to Aaron Rodgers, to prime Tom Brady? Is he a game manager? Can he dissect the defense as Drew Brees, Tom Brady did in their primes? No, the hell. No, he doesn't have any rhythm. Can he make the same plays as Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes? The answer is yes, but only once or twice in a game. Like, Patrick Mahomes can make 10 spectacular games in a plays in a game. Carson Wentz can make one. Is Carson Wentz an accurate quarterback? He's a career 62% completion percentage passer. Is Carson Wentz a leader? He's getting criticized. There are multiple rumors of him being a bad leader, of him being not accountable, held accountable. Is Carson, what is good? He's not as elusive. His pocket presence is getting gradually worse. There is nothing elite about Carson Wentz. He's a really talented guy who's becoming just a guy. He's declining. And there is the classic argument, the 2017 season. Now, this is really key because, again, two sides of the coin. One team says that Carson Wentz had the MVP season. He had 2 great seasons, 2018, 2019, but the team sucked, injuries, blah, 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 blah. And then he had a really bad 2020 season because his coaches let down, blah, 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 and his rookie season was good. And the other part says, wait a minute, Carson Wentz had one great season, and then Carson Wentz had 2 seasons and a really bad season, and he didn't show up for the playoffs. Because I infamously made a video in which I said that Carson Wentz has 9 passing feet in the NFL playoffs, has 108 passing inches in the NFL playoffs. So he averages 21.6 passing inches per season in the NFL playoffs. So that's really alarming. So he had 5 shots, and 5 out of 5 times he wasn't there when it counted, due to injury, due to sucking, due to anything. But that's not even important. Let's talk about the 2017 season, because there is the myth of the 2017 season. Now let's look at the 2017 stats. This guy completed 60% of his passes. 60! He completed 60% of his passes. 101.9 passer rating. 9 fumbles, only 3 lost. Easy schedule. He played 13 games. And when I say easy schedule, I know it's the cliche of all cliches, but he lost the 2 toughest games. And I hope that you guys can see on the picture that I'm screen recording, because I'm actually screen recording. So he lost, wow, that was a stupid sentence. He lost to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Seattle Seahawks, the 2 toughest games on the schedule. He lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Pre-Mahomes, wasn't even close. He lost to the Seattle Seahawks. He sucked in that game. He really sucked in that game. My voice is dying because I'm having a seizure. Carson Wentz lost this game. He sucked in that game. He made 1 great pass to Nelson Aguilar to sugarcoat his sucking. But okay, he sucked. Now, we said 101.9. Here's a guy who never won an MVP. He has 8 seasons with a passer rating over 101.9. In every single one of these seasons, he had over 65 completion percentage. Carson Wentz had 60. He should have had 8 seasons with over 11 wins, but he got injured twice. So Drew Brees never won an MVP. Drew Brees would have won the MVP with his 2011 season in 9 out of 10 seasons. But he didn't because he ran into Aaron Rodgers. And this is really important for you guys to remember. Because let's look at the 2017 seasons. Who were the best quarterbacks in 2017 seasons? The 2017 season. Look at this. Look at the championship games. Blake Bortles at 40-year-old Tom Brady and Case Keenum at Nick Foles. There were no great quarterbacks that season. Aaron Rodgers had a down year. Drew Brees had a down year. Big Ben had a down. Everybody had a down year. There were no young quarterbacks. No Mahomes, no Watson, no Lamar, no Josh Allen, no nobody, no Trevor Lawrence, nobody. So we had this unique situation of two teams without quarterbacks and the team who lost his quarterback being at the championship games. There will never be a situation in the at least upcoming 15 years in NFL that you will have two teams without a quarterback in the championship. That's not going to happen. Like, get over it. That's not going to happen. We live in a quarterback-driven league. The best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, can overcome the best defense in the San Francisco 49ers. This is not going to happen. And let's go back to the 2017 season because we love to talk about the 2017 season. Let's put in the 2017 season in 2020. Where would you rank Carson Wentz's 2017 campaign in the MVP race in 2020? He's not even top 5. He's not top 5. He's not even a top 5 quarterback. What? You have Mahomes, better season. Aaron Rodgers, who's going to win the MVP, better season. You had Josh Allen, better season. You had Tom Brady, who had a better season. And then you can put in Lamar and even Deshaun. I know Deshaun won 4 games. Deshaun had 33-7, just as Wentz. He had almost 5,000 yards. He had a higher completion percentage. I think he almost had 70 completion percentage. Deshaun was balling. So Carson Wentz was, with his 2017 season, he was maybe the 6th best quarterback. He's around Russell Wilson with that season. 6th best. With Derrick Henry. Like, I didn't even mention Derrick Henry, who would be ahead of Carson Wentz in the MVP race with his 2,000 yards. So Carson Wentz had the unique opportunity to win a cheap MVP, and people will cling onto it forever. Here's another guy, Aaron Rodgers, who said that his down season is as good as other people's best season, which is absolutely true because if you look at the 2019 season, he won 13 games. He had a higher completion percentage. He had more passing yards. He averaged roughly the same amount of passing yards per game as Carson Wentz. He had less turnovers, and he had a 6-point lower passer rating. So Aaron Rodgers' shitty season is as good as Carson Wentz's best season, his MVP candidate season. Now, I want to give you a comparison with somebody that is really similar to Carson Wentz. And his name is Cam Newton. Now, I might break your heart here, but Cam Newton is really Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is really Cam Newton. Really talented, really big, strong arm. Keep making shitty excuses. Keep making lame excuses. Because if you look at Cam Newton, he has the same career as Carson Wentz. Okay, there are some seasons, and then there is that one season where the schedule is easy, where you have receivers, you have an easy division, when you have coaching, when everything is aligned for you to win an MVP and the Super Bowl. And Cam Newton didn't get injured, and he won an MVP. But look at this. He didn't even complete 60% of his passes. He had 99.4 passer rating, which is really like alarming. You're winning an MVP with 99.4 passer rating. Yes, he had 10 rushing touchdowns, I think. But I think even Lamar Jackson had over 100 passer rating. I mean, even Lamar Jackson had like a 65 completion percentage. Like, Cam Newton won this MVP because he was running really good. And then he got injured. He didn't have an O-line. He didn't have running games. And people kept making excuses. But if you look at Cam Newton's career, he has double-digit interceptions in every single season, except for the 2019, in which, of course, he got injured. When you look at Cam Newton, 10 seasons in the league, you have 9 seasons with the same results, and you have that one season flash in the pan, 2015 season. When you look at Carson Wentz, you have 5 seasons, you have 4 seasons with the same results, and you have that one season flash in the pan, 11-2 record, almost MVP. They are the same quarterback. And the problem with these guys is that they are getting injured. They are getting older. Carson Wentz is 28. He's not exactly young. He had multiple season-ending injuries. Cam Newton is like 32, 33. I'm not even sure. He had multiple injuries. These guys are not getting younger. They are getting washed. I don't want to live in perpetual mediocrity. I'm sorry. I don't want to have the 13th best quarterback. I don't want to have even the 7th best quarterback, the potentially 7th best quarterback. Because you look at the 7th best quarterbacks in the league, Matt Ryan. What is Matt Ryan doing? He won an MVP. He ain't doing shit. What is Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson is probably even top 5, but Russell Wilson is not winning playoff games because he has a huge contract. So you have to be the best, or at least the 2nd or 3rd best quarterback in the league with the highest amount of money that you receive annually to overcome your shitty roster, your shitty coaching, whatever. And these guys are not capable of doing that. So that's my whole point. I don't want to live in perpetual mediocrity. And that is why the Dallas Cowboys don't want to see Dak, don't want to sign Dak, because Dak is the same thing. Dak is this 8th, 9th best quarterback in the league, but you don't want to pay him the same money as Patrick Mahomes. So that's why they are nitpicking. That's why they're all 33, 35, 40 million. Because they don't want to sign him to 40 million annually because they know he's not Mahomes. That's the whole point. It's not your offensive guard. It's not your 3rd receiver. It's not your slot quarterback that you can be okay with having the 8th best player at that position in the league. This is the quarterback. He has the ball on every single snap. He has to be top 3 if you pay him to be top 3. And listen, Carson Wentz can always sign a 25 million annual contract, but he will not do it because that's the trend. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching my video. And yeah, cut.